the creators of life. Their mind is their weapon, and they all have a story to tell. Welcome to the Rose Room, because women deserve their flowers. Tonight, we have Sisterhood scholar Sherella Cupid. Let's join the conversation.
Say that I was playful.
Mm-hmm.
I think back in the day we used to get to walk home from school and go to the playground before we got home, which is totally different for a lot of kids during this time. So I would say those were the two things that, if I'm thinking back to my childhood, I would say like curious and playful.
Yeah, I always tell people they need to be more curious
Okay.
about everything in life. It'll make things so much easier to just learn more and just be more knowledgeable.
I agree.
And, yeah, even if it's not to take a test in school or something, just be curious
Yeah.
and want to know something.
I
It'll
agree
get you
with
far. If your high school classmates could see you today, what would surprise them the most about who you are?
I don't think much would surprise them, to be honest.
You're exactly the same person you were back then.
I'm still curious.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that. I still care about community. Yeah, I will have to like now. I have to ask like my best friends from high school.
Let's call them right now.
Like, excuse me.
Yeah, for sure. And shout out to City. That's where you went.
Yep, City Nights.
Yeah,
yep.
you went to all the games back then.
I went to some of them. Definitely the football.
Of
Yeah,
course.
the annual tradition. But yeah.
Did you cheerlead? No. Okay. Just wondering. That was not on here. That was random.
Am I giving cheerleader?
I mean, you got the body, so
Oh, okay.
you'd have been at the top of the pyramid.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. You describe yourself as a conversationalist.
Yes.
Why? Like, I know the definition, but
Yeah, I like to have conversations with folks. It could be someone, in a grocery store or someone that you already know. I think it leads into that curiosity, right? Just having conversations with folks. And I think it helps even become like a mirror to self-reflect when you have conversations about others' life stories. Because you can see points of connection, disconnection. So that's why I like to have conversations with folks.
are you the person that would have conversations with someone while you're waiting in line at like Walmart or something like that?
Yeah. I'm like, yes, I would.
Are you the one starting the conversation?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Oh, okay.
I'm a person who also like to, like your podcast, right? In regards to the Rose Room, give folks their flowers. I think it's important. If you see a sis and you like her outfit, you like her hairstyle, just a compliment like, oh sis, like I love your hairstyle. Because oftentimes we may not get the compliments, or it's just so much going on in the world. It's just nice to, if you see something that stands out, like why not give the person a compliment? And that sometimes sparks a conversation.
Absolutely. And before you discover sister circles, and we'll get into that in a second,
Yeah.
what did community look like or mean to you before that?
Yeah, before that, community meant care. So back in high school, I was a part of two groups. One was like Kids Helping Kids, where we would like raise funds for kids in the neighborhood. That was like one of my memories that I hold dear in regards to just raising funds so that kids who didn't have the resources could get Christmas gifts. So that's something that really stood out to me. And it was also the Global Action Committee, where we were able to learn from other countries the struggles that they went through. So we had actual like protesters come into one event. So I would say community meant care, and also learning the stories of others who weren't necessarily in the U.S. Yeah.
And you spent time at PWIs and then later, I guess, HBCUs or just just non PWI.
It's all PWIs, yes.
But
Yes.
you don't actually have horror stories from those moments. Not like we hear other people. Is that correct?
I would say generally no. I'm thinking back. There was only one time where a professor like yelled at my friend and I during class, like really like got red, the face flushed, because we were talking. But other than that, I would say that I don't Yeah, I have horror stories.
Right. And people don't usually expect that. So, what are some of the similarities with white and black culture?
You know, you asked a great question.
Because we
I
are
think we
all,
all want to be well.
yeah, we're
To
all
be,
human, so we
yeah,
all have that. But
yeah. I think we all want to be well. We all want to feel that sense of safety and love. So I would say just being humans in regards to white and black culture. So I don't think that changes,
hmm
right? And I think that there is a sense of community because they look out for themselves,
hmm
right? And I think in regards to black folks, there's a sense of black community, black pride. So I would say those are the two similarities that I see. And of course, there's a lot to do with, the history of the U.S., like
hmm
being pushed to have to stay together because of like redlining and the highway to nowhere if you think about Baltimore, right? So I would say those are some of the similarities.
what is a sister circle, and why do you research them?
Yeah, so a sister circle is a support group formed by black women. It can be contextually based. So, for example, my sister circle started when I was getting my PhD,
hmm
PWI as well. So, my sister circle, and I call them my OG sister circle, would be Dr. Tahira Mahdi. You've already had
hmm
her on the podcast, and Dr. Shante Stocks. They were ahead of me in regards to their cohort, so they started their programs before I did, and they really pulled me in to say, "Hey, sis, like here's some advice about how you navigate the program. Let's do research together." Since getting a doctoral degree, a lot of it has to do with doing research. So they
hmm
also offered me the opportunity to combine our interests in regards to black girls. So we were able to do a research study on black girls and Michelle Obama, for example. So I would say a sister circles often offers black women throughout life that sense of home.
hmm
Because if you go to a PWI, you may not feel that sense of home, that sense of belonging. So I would say, in regards to sister circles, it allows us a space to be vulnerable. We don't have to hold on the mask that a lot of black women put on as a form of protection
hmm
in predominantly white spaces or in predominantly male spaces. So I would say that's what a sister circle is.
Speaking of the mask, you have to read a book by Aaron Kaba,
Okay.
Destroy the Mask.
The short mask. Okay.
Yeah, so check that out.
All
Y'all
right.
check that out.
I'll add it to my reading list. Thank you. Yes.
And you research these sister circles. So, black women's experience in healthcare, education, and media. Upon your research, what's one meaningful change that each of those fields could use?
Don't have black women in leadership if you're not going to support them.
hmm
I think we saw a lot during the pandemic or DEI pushes, and we saw a lot of black women enter into those leadership positions. But after the fad had worn out, we see a lot of them leaving, getting fired, having a lot of mental health conditions. So if you are going to put black women in leadership, then support them. We're not superheroes. We're not here to rescue these spaces. We want to be in these spaces to hone our expertise, to learn from others. So if you do have us in positions of leadership, then actually support us. Don't just have us here as mascots.
Yeah, it seems like they'll hire certain people just for the look and with the intention of running them out, and then they're able to say, "Hey, we tried," you
Right.
know.
Yes, I agree.
And I know that's for all of them. Is there anything specific when it comes to like education or the media field that you would like to see change? Like that's specific for those industries or the healthcare industry? I
I
know
would
it's
love to.
important. I'm sorry, go
Yeah.
ahead.
No, you're fine. I would love to see more black women like having their own media companies,
hmm
right? I feel like if you ask a black woman, like what are black women directors that have their own spaces, we can't think of many. You could probably think of two compared to like white men, for example.
Right.
So it's always important to own the space in which you are telling the narratives. I think it becomes a more genuine narrative. So to have more Black women owning their own spaces, actually getting a capital and not getting penalized once they get the capital, I would love to see that more in media.
Have you ever discovered something in your research that changed your perspective of something that you thought you already knew?
Something I thought I already knew.
And if you always knew everything, just go ahead and say that.
I'm just trying to think back, because I think a lot of it becomes confirmation when you hear other Black women's stories.
Oh.
For me, Black women and minorities, folks often talk about imposter syndrome, feeling as though you don't belong and you had like earned the right to be in a space. And I found that to be really profound, that a lot of Black women deal with the imposter syndrome, because I never dealt with it. So I would think that that is something that made me look back and say like, oh wow, like even though like sis, like you're in this space, you're an expert, people look up to you, that you feel this sense of you don't belong. Yeah.
What is Lorraine?
So Lorraine is my digital sister circle, which stands for Love is Real and Eternal. It features a podcast, a book club. We get to have events. A lot of them are virtual, where we just can hold space for each other in regards to things that we're going through. So that is what Lorraine is. And this year released a wellness journal. So that's also Lorraine. Like, how can I offer Black women resources in order to just better live how they desire to live when thinking about wellness?
Oh, so you're kind of like the female version of me, just taking care of women, taking care of Black women. All right, I like that. What's your podcast called?
The Lorraine Journey Podcast.
Okay, what are some of the best guests? No, scratch that. What are some of the guests you've had?
Oh, goodness. So last season, and each season is based on a theme. So last season, the theme was transitions. So a lot of Black women talked about their transition into motherhood, their transition in regards to careers, and also had a gynecologist talk about Black women through the lifespan. I would say that the podcast offers you a space to feel as though you're having a conversation with a sister. So if you are someone who is a first-time mom, an older mom, for example, there is a podcast episode with Shirley Washington, who's also a dope poet. She talks about like, what does it mean for her to go through pregnancy later in life. And I know for a lot of us, it's becoming the norm to have children later. So that's one episode that stands out to me. Dr. Tamisha Ponder talked about her journey becoming a death doula and also a birth doula, and you know the intersection of that and what did that mean for her. So that's also something that I don't think we talk about a lot in regards to like, what does it mean to transition into death and to have choice. So that's another episode. And then I have episodes, of course, with Black women who are part of my sister circles. And the Lorraine Journey podcast is on the McKissick Health Network. That network is led by Sarah McKissick, who is a counselor. She's in the mental health space, the spiritual wellness space, and I really admire the way she is intentional about creating media that is educational for our community. So we often have a season wrap episode where we discuss the episodes.
Her last name sounds so familiar.
Oh, yeah?
Is she famous?
McKissick?
Yeah.
One day she will be. No.
Oh.
She'll be more famous. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I feel like I've heard that name before.
You may have.
Oh. And the community that you're building with your sister circle, and even through your podcast and Lorraine the brand, how are you making that space so that women feel vulnerable, feel safe enough to be vulnerable with you?
So for the majority, it's either women that I know or women that were recommended to be guests. So that's one approach. And before we start, we have an exercise. So even before we hit record, we have an exercise, we have a conversation. So that way it opens up the space. So it's not like, okay, let's hit record and like have this vulnerable conversation, because a lot of the conversation that Black women do have on there are vulnerable conversations. Yeah.
If you could have coffee, are you a coffee drinker? Tea, juice, water, milk. If you could sit down with any three women, let's say famous women that are well known, living or dead, who would it be and why?
That's a great question. I would say one of the great bell hooks. Seasoned bell hooks.
I've never heard of her.
You've heard of bell hooks.
I have. Who is she?
So Bell Hooks, she was an author, an activist, an educator. She wrote all about love. I feel like once I show it to you, you'd be like, oh, I know who Bell Hooks is.
Okay, Bell Hooks. That name sounds familiar.
Yes. So season 3 of the podcast was about love. So how do Black women define love? How we living in love, choosing love, know that you are being loved. And it was based on her book, All About Love. That helped to inspire season 3. So I would love to have a conversation.
All About Love by Bell Hooks. Okay.
Yeah, with Bell Hooks. So that'll be one who I would love to have a conversation with. And let's see. I feel like so many names are coming to mind.
Well, any of them will do. It's not in any specific order.
Yes.
It's random.
No. Last year I was doing reading memoirs. That was the theme for last year for my reading journey. So I read a lot of memoirs by Black women, and her face is in my mind, but it's not coming to me. But she was one of BET co-founders. I want to say it's Barbara Smith, but I feel like that's not it.
Bob Johnson.
You see,
I'm trying to think of who that was.
I would love to have a conversation with her. She was really vulnerable about her marriage in her memoir, and her divorce, getting remarried, creating legacy in regards to the brands that she have. So I would love to have a conversation with her. And let's see.
You got this.
Yeah, I'm thinking all the memoirs I'm thinking about last year. Viola Davis' memoir was really profound as well. You should listen to it if you haven't. So having a conversation with Viola Davis, she just has top-notch like speeches when she wins her awards. So I always admire.
3 solid choices, and it all plays a part in who you are.
Yeah.
So, now, what is the best advice you've ever gotten from a woman personally? Someone that you actually know, who actually said it to you.
I think I'm thinking about a lot right now. So in regards to just going through life, that you can't fully love someone if it's from a place of fear.
Explain that.
So Bell Hooks also helps to define like what are the ingredients of love. But in regards to, if we look at love, or if we define love as the commitment to someone's overall spiritual growth or well-being, if there's fair interpretation in regards to our relationship, then I can't fully love you and you can't fully love me. So that's what I would say in regards to, like, that's the best advice. And of course it takes time, it takes vulnerability, it takes the risk of being hurt. But at the end of the day, if I can look back and say, like, I really love that person well, then I don't have any regrets. So I would say.
Why'd you laugh?
No, she looked at me like, okay.
Yeah, let's get you up out of here. Last question. You speak about being vulnerable, having women be vulnerable around you. Be vulnerable with them with something that you're still trying to understand, that you're still trying to learn.
That's a great question. I think that something that I'm continually working on is how to hold space for our growth. As we go through life, we should be changing in regards to just navigating life, and it can be difficult, right? Sometimes you're like observing someone and you want to say something, but then it's like, do I not say something because we're adults? So it becomes that, internal tension. So I would say that that is something that I'm working on. Like, how do we love each other through our growth, and sometimes, difficult seasons in life where you may feel as though that person isn't putting themselves first in certain like relationships. So that's something that I'm wrestling with. Like, how do we hold other folks accountable in regards to like their own self-love journey if you feel as though they may not be putting themselves in the best position without jeopardizing the relationship.
You give the best advice to your friends.
I don't know. Yes, I don't know. I think I'm honest.
Yeah.
I think I'm honest.
I was gonna say, I feel like you do. And then the women you named, you have great examples, of being strong and pushing through, and just seeing things on a deeper level. So, where can people follow you, support you, and all that? The whole
So you can follow me across social media: Instagram, TikTok at LaRae Journey, the handle. Also on YouTube. The Spotify, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, is where you will get the LaRae Journey podcast. And if you go to LaRaeJourney.com, you'll see everything. You can purchase the journal, which is available on Amazon. So yeah, a year's journey in self-love and wellness journal. You can start the journal at any time during the year. It's undated, so it's thematically based. It connects you back to podcast episodes. Has a lot of resources in there just to help us. For example, make sure that you're taking notes for your doctors. So I think a lot of us forget to have those points when your doctor say, "Hey, do you have a question?" Like, actually, I don't. But then you leave the doctor's office. So those are the places that you can find me.
Okay, I like that journal.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, if everything ended today and you had to leave people with one last thing, look in the camera and let them know what that is.
That's a great question. So, if I have to leave everything today, I would say choose to be in spaces where you'll hold sacred, where your love is centered, and where you can love freely.
You deserve your flowers.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate it.